and this is our Fort Wayne Amazing Race. Fort Wayne has a lot of rich history and attributes that most Fort Wayne citizens don't really know about.
For example, when our class took a field trip downtown, I didn't know about the landing or the canal house.
So with our Fort Wayne Amazing Race, what we will do is we will get Fort Wayne citizens to know more about where they grew up and came from.
Our race will consist of 50 teams, all with 4 people in each team. One member must be over the age of 21 for some of our detours. The race will take place over the summer for some of our activities that have to be done in the summer. And the first 3 teams that cross the finish line will be awarded a prize.
These are our locations. We have a map of Fort Wayne, which shows some of our locations, and then the map inside is a map just of downtown, so you can see our locations a bit better. For transportation, we're planning on using running or walking, the CityLink bus, Uber, bikes, segways, and canoes. And some of our locations include Headwaters Park, where we'll start, the courthouse, the embassy, and we'll end in Fox Island.
Our starting location will be at Headwaters Park. Here is the roadblock, which means that all team members will have to participate in this event. What they will have to do is they will have to go around Headwaters Park and find the next clue for the next location. Our first location is the Old Historic Fort. The Old Historic Fort was built in 1815 and finished in 1860. It's one of the most sophisticated all-wooden built forts in North America. So for the physical detour, the team members will have to participate in one of the 4 reenactments that will be held that day. They must participate in it and they must do it right, or else they will have to wait there and redo it again in the next reenactment. For the mental detour, the team members will have to count how many rooms are in each building and tell one of the workers the correct answer, and then they will be given their next location.
Our second location is the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. Fort Wayne Children's Zoo is one of the most visited spots in Fort Wayne. In fact, it brings in over 600,000 people annually, and it's been voted the 7th best zoo in the United States. For our physical detour, teams must feed at least one animal at the zoo. These can include the giraffes, the goats, or the ducks. Our mental detour is teams must go through each exhibit, like the African Journey, and they must find money hidden in that exhibit. They will use the money then to buy a ticket for someone going into the zoo.
Our third location is the Nickel Plate Railroad. The Nickel Plate Railroad divides Fort Wayne from east to west. It originally lied on the ground but was raised up so that people wouldn't have to wait hours for the things to be loaded and unloaded from the train. For our physical detour, 2 team members will have to run either way down the railroad, and they will have to find the location for the clue for the next location. For the mental detour, the teams must have to spell the first 4 letters of the mayor during that time. His name was Harry W. Walls. So they will have to find 4 names of people who contributed to the railroad that started with either an H, an A, or 2 R's.
Our next location is the Landing, also known as Columbia Street. The Landing has been around since the canal times in the 1800s, a time forgotten by most people. For our physical detour, teams must wash 3 windows in 15 minutes and be approved by Mr. Banks, who is a window washer. For our mental detour, teams must make a drink at one of the bars along Columbia Street, like Flash Black on Columbia Street, and they must be approved by a bartender that works there. For our 5th location is the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. The museum has a lot of things like paintings like the Yosemite by Thomas Hill. It also has glass blown and sculptures. For our physical detour, teams must make a glass blown marble under the directions of Eric Park. For our mental detour, teams must remember 5 of the Indian impressions that are at the museum, and then they must run to Freeman Square, and there will be 5 of the paintings waiting for them, and they must put them in order by the paintings and the artist's name. Location number 6 is the courthouse. The courthouse has been along for a while, but the courthouse has a lot of history to it, like surviving World War I blackouts. And to me, the courthouse has stood tall where others have fallen, kept its head held high where others have bowed. For This location is a roadblock, so the participants for this roadblock must identify the styles in which the courthouse was designed after on each floor, the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor. The first floor has Roman columns on it, as well as kind of designs like sculptures and some of the Indiana laws and provinces, proverbs.
Our seventh location is the Electron Building. The Electron Building was built around 1895. The name Electron reflects the electrical engineering interests of the principal owner of the building. For the physical detour, the teams will have to go and run up all of the stairs in the building, find the clue for the next location, and then ride the elevator shaft down. For the mental detour, the teams have to find out which style of architecture the entire building was built out of, which is Romanesque Revival style. The eighth location is the Bar Street Market. This is also a roadblock, which means that all team members must participate in this event. They will have to find a customer who has not yet bought anything, buy 2 items on their list successfully out of all the produce that's there, and buy it for them.
Location number 9 is the embassy. The embassy has been around for a while, has a lot of history, from being renamed from the envoy to the embassy, and the 3 guardians that protected the organ in its home. For our physical detour, teams must learn and perform in my own little corner from Cinderella on the embassy stage in front of the workers. For the mental detour, teams must find out the names of the famous embassy ghost, Bud Burger, without help from the workers.
Our 10th location is Foster Park. Part of Foster Park was originally given to Fort Wayne in 1912, but by 1932, the entire park as it stands today was given to Fort Wayne. For our physical detour, teams must run from the Foster Park ball diamond across the bridge to Foster Park West in the soccer fields. There, they will kick a soccer ball into the goal from 20 yards away. And our mental detour is they must go to the flower garden in Foster Park and identify 4 different flowers there. Our next location is the Chief Richardsville House. The Chief Richardsville House was built in 1827 for Chief Richardsville, who was the leader of the Miami tribe. And when Chief Richardsville died in 1841, he was the richest man in Indiana. Chief Richardsville House is also one of only 2 historic landmarks in Fort Wayne on the National Historic Registry for Historic Landmarks. And the physical detours, teams must learn and perform the traditional Miami dance, the Calumet dance. And then our mental detour is teams will have to take a tour of the Chief Richardsville House, and they must find pieces to a picture of Chief Richardsville. And finally, our last location is Fox Island. Fox Island was bought in 1971 by Fort Wayne Parks and Rec Department in order to preserve the area and the land and the animals. Our physical detours, teams must go on to Lake Bowman, which is the lake at Fox Island, and they must catch a fish there and take a picture of it for proof. A mental detour is teams will have to go out into the trails and must find 3 different unique animals there. Are there any questions?